Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And hello out there, everyone. Finally, we are back. I deeply apologize for our extended absence away from the bi-weekly teachings and recordings. I'm fully aware many of you who are hungering and thirsting for the truth in a world where Hashatan, the devil, is prince and is so full of lies, that you rely on this ministry for spiritual education and motivation, and you've been without advancement from us recently. But know that we have not left you alone. As we all know, when we seek and find the Messiah, he promises never to leave or forsake us. But also, even though we were temporarily unable to record lessons that Yahweh has given us, we were working hard to reestablish this broadcast. Yahweh, through the Holy Scriptures, has given us every thought and word necessary for our successful living. One of the things Yahweh has done is to improve our awareness of tactics and the power of the devil. I know we all wish that this were a one-sided and an unfair fight, that the devil would be given blanks for her guns, or that she were not as clever, manipulative, or powerful as she really is. It would be nice if we were guaranteed to win every battle, but we are only guaranteed to win the war if we persevere unto the end. The scriptures have much to say about this. Probably the most important scripture in all of Scripture is written in 2 Thessalonians, beginning in chapter 2, verse 9. The scriptures state, "The coming of the lawless one is according to the working of Hashatan, with all power, signs, and lying wonders, and with all unrighteous deception among those who perish, because they did not receive the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this reason, the Most High will send them strong delusion, that they should believe the lie, that they all may be condemned who did not believe the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness." 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 9 through 12. What this means is that we are not guaranteed to win every battle. Neither are we to avoid tribulation just because we believe and love the Messiah. The Messiah himself warned against Pollyanna-like beliefs and attitudes in the books of Matthew chapters 7 and 10. For example, in chapter 7, it is written, and the Messiah is speaking, "Enter by the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and there are many who go in by it. Because narrow is the gate, and difficult is the way, which leads to life, and there are few who find it." Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 and 14. Let us turn our scriptures to Matthew chapter 10, please. Matthew chapter 10. Those of you out there following along, turn your scriptures also and follow along with us. Starting in verse 5. Listen to the holy word from the book of Matthew. The Messiah is speaking. "Do not go into the way of the Gentiles, and do not enter a city of the Samaritans, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." I'm going to turn to Jeremiah chapter 10. Yirmeyahu, the proper pronunciation of Jeremiah. It is written in verse 2, "Thus saith Yahweh, do not learn the way of the Gentiles, Do not be dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the Gentiles are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are futile. For one cuts a tree from the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They decorate it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and hammers, so that it will not topple. They are upright like a palm tree, and they cannot speak. They must be carried because they cannot go by themselves. Sound anything like Christmas? But the commandment not to honor Christmas, nor the devil who spawned it, is but an example. You see this many times in scriptures, the way Yahweh commissioned the scriptures to be written. It's an example. It's not the end-all, be-all of what he's trying to get across here. What he's trying to get across is, do not learn the way. In the book of Acts, you'll read Rav Shaul, the Apostle Paul, on several occasions say that he went in to argue because there was disagreement and discussions about the way. The way, the proper way, the way of Yahweh. It's not a way. It is the way. A definite article, a definite path. It's also called the walk. Do not learn the way of the Gentiles. Do not learn the way of everybody else who doesn't believe, including those that profess that they believe, but do not follow the way. What is that way? That way, I'm going to get a little former President Clinton on you right now. I'm just going to speak plainly. That way is the law of Yahweh, plain and simple. Every jot, every tittle, every word, every sentence, every punctuation. The law, the Torah, as it's called in Hebrew. The Torah. And that's a lot more than just the first 5 books, although the first 5 books are the foundation. When you understand the first 5 books, the law of Moshe, everything else in the scripture, the prophets and the writings, what is called the New Testament, the Brit Hadashah, everything else must be interpreted by the understanding of the Torah. It must agree with the Torah. Yahweh is not the author of confusion. That simply means that all Scripture must agree with Scripture. It's not contradictory. Everything flows. We'll get much more into that later on, but I wanted you to see the relevance, because there is prophetic Scripture in eschatology, end-time prophecy, that says, as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end.